My fiancé announced, "I'm far too refined for your family's low-end diners," during my grandmother's 90th birthday celebration. I replied, "You're absolutely correct." The next morning, I ensured she'd never have to compromise her standards again by canceling our wedding. Her attitude shifted dramatically afterward. I'm Thomas, 32, and was engaged to Bethany, 28, for 8 months, together for 2 years. Our wedding was set for 3 months from then. Emphasis on was. My grandmother, Elena, just turned 90. She's a first-generation immigrant who built a modest empire of 3 family-owned restaurants from scratch, the cornerstone of our extended family. For her birthday, she had one request: a gathering at her first restaurant, opened in 1978, with my late grandfather. It's not upscale, red checkered tablecloths, old country photos on the walls, a menu unchanged for decades. But the food? Pure, authentic, and to us, it's hallowed ground. Bethany knew this. I'd shared the stories countless times, how my grandparents scraped by for years to open it, how my mom practically grew up in its kitchen, how every major family milestone happened at table 12. At the party, Bethany arrived late, decked out in designer clothes, fresh from a salon, looking ready for a high society event. "This is the place?" she said, eyeing the restaurant. "I thought we were going to the fancy one downtown." "This is the fancy one. It's the original." She grimaced, but walked in. My entire family was there, cousins from 3 states, my uncle Antonio, who hadn't visited in years. Everyone. Grandma Elena beamed when she saw us. "My treasure," she said, mixing languages in her joy. Bethany gave her an air kiss, no hug, to my 90-year-old grandmother. We sat at the long family table. The food arrived: Grandma's legendary meatballs, award-winning lasagna, fresh bread from the bakery next door, a partner since 1982. Bethany pushed her plate aside. "Not eating?" my Aunt Rosa asked. "I'm on a detox. This is all so heavy, strike one." Then my cousin's son, little Tony, age 5, accidentally spilled his juice, splashing Bethany's designer handbag. "Are you serious?" she shrieked. "This bag cost $3,000. Who lets a kid run loose like this?" The restaurant fell silent, not just our table, but every patron. "It was an accident," my cousin Marie said, mopping it up. "An accident that ruined premium leather. This is why I said we should have gone to a proper restaurant, not somewhere with unruly kids." My grandmother's face, I'll never forget it. She looked crushed. Strike 2. But Bethany kept going. "Honestly, Thomas," she said loudly for all to hear, "I'm far too refined for your family's low-end diners. This place hasn't been updated since the 70s. The food's practically peasant fare, and don't even get me started on the customers." She waved at the other diners, regular folks, families, couples, the heart of our community for 45 years. "When we have kids, they're not eating here. I won't let them think this is acceptable dining." Strikes 3, 4, 5, and 6. I stood, calm but firm. "You're absolutely correct." She smirked, thinking she'd won. "Good. Let's go to that sushi spot." "No, I mean you're right. You're too refined for my family, our history, the woman who built everything, including the money for that ring on your finger." Her face fell. "Thomas, I didn't mean—" "Everyone heard what you meant." I looked at my grandmother, tears in her eyes, my mom holding her hand, my family staring at the woman I was set to marry. "Enjoy your sushi." Alone, I walked to my grandmother, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "She's gone tomorrow." I swear. Then I left, walking out of my grandmother's 90th birthday, the worst night of my life. Bethany didn't follow. My sister said she sat there for 5 minutes, then called an Uber. She texted me non-stop. "That was over the top. You humiliated me. We need to talk. You can't just abandon me there. Thomas, answer me." I ignored her. Instead, at 9 a.m. the next day, I called our wedding venue. "Hi, Thomas Reeves here. Cancel the Reeves-Morrison wedding for September 15th. Is everything okay? You'll lose your deposit. That's fine. Cancel it all. Then I called the florist, photographer, DJ, caterer, ironically, not my family's restaurant, as Bethany had demanded a high-end French place. I canceled everything. By noon, $8,000 in deposits were gone, worth every cent. Then I went to our apartment, my apartment where she'd moved in 6 months ago. I packed her things carefully. Every designer dress, every overpriced shoe, all jewelry except the engagement ring, which was mine to return. 23 boxes left in the lobby with a note. You were right. You deserve better than us. Good luck finding it. Then I changed the locks. Update 1. The fallout was wild. Bethany showed up at my workplace with her mother, Patricia, in full outrage mode. "What have you done?" Patricia yelled at reception. "You canceled everything?" Security was summoned. I went to the lobby. "Thomas," Patricia said, switching to a syrupy tone, "this must be a misunderstanding." Bethany mentioned a minor disagreement about dinner locations. She called my grandmother's life's work a low-end diner with peasant fare at her 90th birthday. Patricia flinched. Perhaps her words were poorly chosen. She said she was too refined for my family. She meant every word, so I'm letting her go find her match. Bethany started crying. Crocodile tears, no water. "Baby, you're overreacting. It's just wedding stress. Wedding stress makes you insult the woman who raised me after my dad died? Oh, I forgot to mention, Grandma Elena practically raised me and my sister after our dad passed when I was 10. She's not just my grandmother, she's everything." "I didn't know she raised you," Bethany said. 2 years together, and you didn't know?" Patricia tried another angle. "The wedding's in 3 months. People will gossip. Let them. The deposits are gone. Canceled yesterday." Bethany lost it, real tears now. "You threw away $30,000. $8,000, and it wasn't thrown away. It was spent to avoid marrying someone who thinks she's above my family." Security escorted them out. Patricia shouted, "You'll regret this. My daughter has better options." "I hope she takes them," I called back. That night, the family group chat went off. My sister Lisa, "Grandma's worried about you." My mom, "I'm so proud." Uncle Antonio, "Thank God she was terrible." Cousin Marie, "Little Tony wants to know if the mean lady's gone for good." Me, "Yes, tell him she's gone." The best message was from my grandmother, dictated to my mom. "My dear Thomas, you're worth more than all the fancy handbags in the world. Sunday dinner, table 12, don't be late." Table 12, where my grandfather proposed, where my parents announced their engagement, where every big family moment happens, where Bethany would never sit again. Update 2. Bethany's options didn't quite work out as Patricia predicted. She tried to revive the wedding herself, calling vendors to reinstate everything. But deposits don't come back, and rebooking? Costs had skyrocketed. The venue was suddenly 40% pricier, the florist had a rush fee, the photographer was booked. She needed about $45,000 to restart it all. Her solution? She told everyone I was financially controlling and stole her wedding. Problem is, everyone knew the truth. My cousin Marie's husband, a bartender at the country club where Bethany's friends hang out, overheard her spiel. Thomas got irrationally jealous and controlling. He canceled our wedding because I suggested trying new restaurants. A friend, "Didn't you call his grandmother's place cheap?" Bethany, "It was taken out of context." Another friend, "In front of his whole family? At her 90th birthday?" They're too sensitive. Her friends weren't convinced. The real karma came unexpectedly. Bethany worked as a luxury brand consultant, helping wealthy people buy overpriced goods. Her job relied on her image and network. But my grandmother, Elena, isn't just a restaurant owner. She's a local legend. 3 thriving locations, 45 years in business, connected to everyone in the food industry, including Richard Blackstone, who owns the luxury mall where Bethany's office was. Richard, a Thursday regular at Grandma's for 20 years, was at her 90th birthday. He heard it all. Monday, Bethany's boss called her in. "Bethany, we need to talk about client relations. My performance is stellar." Richard Blackstone called. "He's concerned about your alignment with our brand's values." "What?" "He said you publicly shamed Elena Rossi at her birthday, called her life's work cheap and peasant-like. That was a private family matter. In a public restaurant with 60 witnesses, including 3 of our clients. Those unacceptable customers Bethany mocked? They included 2 CEOs and a federal judge, all Grandma's regulars. Bethany wasn't fired outright, but was encouraged to explore other opportunities. She resigned 2 days later. Update 3. Bethany went into overdrive. She started dating immediately, posting new guys weekly on Instagram, each supposedly wealthier than the last. First was Garrett, an investment banker. Lasted 4 days until she demanded a $500 per plate dinner on their second date. He vanished. Next was Philippe, a European entrepreneur. Turned out he was a waiter at a French restaurant, faking his accent. She found out when she dropped by his office unannounced. But the third guy? Harrison Wellington III, legitimate old money heir, railroad fortune lineage. Bethany thought she'd struck gold, posting endlessly about finding someone on my level and attracting what you're worth. Patricia was thrilled, already planning another wedding. Small issue, Harrison's family does due diligence. His mother, Eleanor Wellington, old school elite with a private investigator on speed dial, dug into Bethany's past, the restaurant incident, the social media drama, the lost job. Eleanor didn't tell Harrison directly. Instead, she invited Bethany to tea. My sister Lisa, who knows Eleanor's assistant, got the full scoop. Eleanor served tea in antique china worth more than my car, then said, "I hear you're quite the culinary critic, something about peasant food." Bethany paled. That was, my dear. The Wellingtons have dined at Elena Rossi's for 40 years. My late husband swore by her meatballs, called them the state's finest. I didn't know. Clearly. You also don't know Harrison's trust fund has a morality clause. Any spouse who publicly disrespects family or friends or acts unbecomingly forfeits all financial rights. That's not legal. It's been legal since 1943. It stopped many ill-advised marriages. Eleanor smiled. Harrison can marry whomever he chooses, but the money is family money, and we protect family, including the Rossis. Bethany left in tears. Harrison dumped her that night via text, mid-dinner, at an exorbitant restaurant she had to pay for herself. Update 4. Bethany's downward spiral was real. She moved back with Patricia. No job, no man, no wedding, no apartment, unable to afford rent alone. Did she learn? Nope. She launched a blog, Dating After Emotional Abuse, a Survivor's Story. Every post was about me, thinly disguised. When your ex picks his family over your future. Red flags I missed. He was too tied to his mom. Why successful women intimidate insecure men. The comments weren't kind. Girl, you trashed his grandma's restaurant at her birthday. This isn't the win you think. Team Thomas. She turned off comments. Then came the legal hammer. Bethany made a critical error. She used a photo from my grandmother's 90th birthday in a post about toxic family dynamics, without permission, featuring my 90-year-old grandmother. My uncle Antonio, a sharp lawyer, sent a cease and desist. Remove all references to the Rossi family and images immediately, or face defamation and unauthorized likeness claims. She deleted everything but the internet remembers. Screenshots spread. Someone made a TikTok. Rich girl calls grandma's food peasant fare, loses it all. It went viral, 2.3 million views. Comments were savage. Imagine thinking you're above homemade Italian food. She thought she was winning. Grandma's revenge hits hard. Patricia called me, sobbing, "Thomas, stop them!" Bethany's ruined. "I'm not doing anything. She posted online. The internet responded, you could defend her." Defend her from the truth? She said those things publicly to my grandmother. She's suffering. So was my grandmother on her 90th birthday. Patricia hung up. Update 5. Plot twist. My grandmother hired Bethany. I'm serious. At Sunday dinner, Grandma dropped the news. I gave Bethany a job. I nearly choked on my meatball. What? She needs work. I need a dishwasher. Grandma, you don't have to. I'm 90. I do what I want. She's young and foolish. I was once too, but I learned. She might not take it. Grandma grinned. She already did. I was floored. She starts tomorrow. Minimum wage, no special treatment. She works, she eats, she learns humility, or she leaves. Why? Because, my dear, the best revenge isn't ruining someone. It's showing them what they lost every day. Grandma's a legend. Bethany showed up. Day 1, she wore designer gloves to wash dishes. They melted in the industrial soap. Day 2, she griped about the smell. The cook told her to deal or quit. Day 3, she cried in the walk-in freezer but kept working. Week 2, she ditched makeup. Pointless when you're sweating over a dish pit. Week 3, she ate the staff meal. Peasant food hits different when you're starving. Week 4, a regular Mrs. Chen, the federal judge, spotted her. Aren't you the girl who, oh my? Bethany kept scrubbing. Final update. Today was my grandmother's 91st birthday, held at her newest restaurant. Bigger party, same family, same table 12. I brought someone, Adriana, a school teacher I met at a bookstore. She drives a 10-year-old Honda, teared up meeting my grandmother, and said, "Your meatballs are amazing, Mrs. Rossi. Call me Grandma." Have seconds, Adriana had thirds. Mid-dinner, the kitchen staff sang, "Happy Birthday," bringing out a cake. Bethany carried it, still in her dishwasher apron, hair netted, no makeup, exhausted. She set it before my grandmother. Their eyes locked. "Happy birthday, Mrs. Rossi." "Thank you, dear." Bethany glanced at me, at Adriana, at the ring on Adriana's finger. "Yes, I proposed last week at table 12, with Grandma's blessing." She said nothing and returned to the kitchen. Later, Grandma pulled me aside. "She's quitting tomorrow." "Good. I'm giving her a reference." "What?" "She worked 3 months, never missed a shift, stopped complaining after week 1. She earned it. Grandma, she insulted you." "That girl's gone." "The one washing dishes is different. Not perfect, but different. Sometimes that's enough. You're too kind." "No, I'm kind enough." She learned this low-end diner feeds hundreds, employs 30, serves doctors, teachers, judges, and janitors, all equal at my tables, and that you can't wash dishes with a $3,000 handbag. We laughed. Bethany quit, landed a job at a mid-tier marketing firm, and is dating some guy named Roger, an accountant. No Instagram posts about it. Patricia cut contact with me, my family, the Wellingtons, and the Blackstones. Harrison Wellington III is engaged to a kindergarten teacher. His mother loves her. My family's restaurants are booming. The TikTok drew tons of new customers. Grandma hired more staff. Adriana and I are marrying next spring at the original restaurant, reception at table 12. The menu, peasant fare. The guests, unacceptable clientele. The venue, a low-end diner, unchanged since the 70s. The bride, someone who knows my grandmother's meatballs outshine every designer bag in the world. Bethany sent a card, just signed B, no message. Grandma framed it, hung it in the kitchen beside a photo from her 91st birthday. To remember, she says, that dignity isn't designer, it's dishes, work, respect, and knowing no one's above honest food made with love. My grandmother, 91, 5 feet tall, is the fiercest person I know, and I'm proud to be her grandson, even if our restaurants are low-end and our food is for peasants. P.S. Yes, the restaurants are real. No, I won't say where. Grandma doesn't need the drama, just her family, her tables, and her dignity. P.P.S. The meatball recipe dies with her. Don't ask. Bethany, if you're reading this, the dish soap's under the sink. You know where.